What's up guys, Matt here with tomorrowsfilmmakers.com, and today we are going to be doing a couple portrait job shadow. Now, with most YouTube videos, you'll get some tips and tricks and some cool little points to think about, but with this, we want to let you be a fly on the wall for an actual session so you can follow me, see what my thoughts are, see how I pose people, look at the lighting, and all the things that go into a couple portrait session. I'll probably have to troubleshoot some stuff as well in the moment because usually things don't go perfectly according to plan, but this way you get to be a fly on the wall and watch this portrait session from an outside perspective. That way you'll have full confidence next time you go into any engagement session, portrait session, or whatever you might be shooting. So if you're an aspiring photographer wanting to learn more about the industry, learn more about photography, you can check out our full photography course at tomorrowsfilmmakers.com, where we talk about weddings, portraits, posing people, real estate, sports, the technical side of shooting, and I even go into detail and bring you alongside my entire editing process, all the way from shooting to exporting. Learn with over 30,000 other creatives just like you. Learn all about videography, photography, editing, and everything else that goes into mastering your craft. So head on over to tomorrowsfilmmakers.com if you want to learn more. I think the couple just showed up, so we're gonna go meet them. All right, now as we're about to go meet the couple, one other thing I did want to point out is that everybody usually asks like, oh, what gear do you bring? What all lenses and cameras do you bring to shoots like this? And honestly, I leave most of my gear in the car, in the trunk, but what I will bring with me is an 85mm lens. This is just the absolute best lens to have for any sort of couple portrait, any sort of senior portrait, anything like that. 85mm will be your best friend. You got good compression. It's not super tight, so you have room to work, but it just looks amazing. In addition to that, I will also bring my battery grip so I can shoot horizontally and vertically because I like having the option and it just gives me a better grip. And lastly, in addition to that, I always keep an SD card, but also I keep an extra SD card in my wallet just in case for some reason I run out of storage. You never want to run out of storage in the middle of a shoot, so always keep an extra SD card on you. And honestly, that's about it. Camera, 85mm lens, battery grip, SD card. You don't need a ton of gear, that's about all you need. One thing you really need to think about is time of day. Now, typically, I would usually like to shoot about an hour and a half to 2 hours before sunset. However, the couple that we're shooting with wasn't available in the evening, so we're actually here in the morning, about 2 hours after sunrise, which honestly gives off about the same look as it would if we shot at sunset. Now, the reason why you don't want to shoot in the middle of the day is because, well, the sun's directly overhead and it's going to cast weird shadows under the eyes, and you definitely don't want that. So if it's not a cloudy day and it's not soft light everywhere, you're definitely going to want to shoot in either the 2 hours after sunrise or the 2 hours before sunset. Now, one thing I do all the time, and I sometimes look like an idiot doing it, is I'll literally use my hand to kind of get a gauge of where the light's going to hit. And so as you can see, the light's kind of moving around on my hand, so it's not very even. So what I'll do is I'll kind of just walk around and go like this until I find a spot where it's nice even light, and then I'll tell them to put their faces there. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, let's see. If I could have y'all stand... It's still kind of shaky. Maybe like, yeah, let's have y'all like right here. Okay. And kind of facing each other right here. Yeah, like that. All right, y'all get kind of close. So you can kind of like bunch up like this and kind of lean in, touch noses. Oh, you got a little fuzzy.
Get my fuzz.
Boop. Yep. Always watch for fuzz. All right, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and pull your sweater above your phone too, because I can see your phone. Boop. Cool. Gotta look for the little things. So let's do, for this one, Rachel, if you could say something in Daniel's left ear that'll make him laugh. All right. Well, my background's a little bright. I gotta move. There we go. Let's see if Rachel's even funny. There it is. That looks amazing. All right, now same thing. Let's have Daniel, if you want to whisper something in her right ear that'll make her laugh. I say that so that I can see, you know, her face when she laughs. Just like that. That's perfect. That's amazing. I'll get a little closer. Oftentimes I'll literally just kind of let them have their moment for as long as it'll last and see if there's any like candid stuff. Looks like they're done. All right, cool. That was good. Now, one shot I do like to get all the time is like a small subject shot. And so I'll get like a big landscape area. Look at them. They're just posed ready for a photo. Look, show that. They're just posed ready for a photo. Anyway, sorry. I'll get them really small in the frame and kind of showcase, excuse you, and kind of showcase the environment a little bit. And so that's what I'm gonna do right now. All right, cool. Let's have y'all come like up here on this little ridge. I'm gonna see where the light is. Ooh. Yeah, this is pretty even. All right, so like kind of like right here, and then you know the drill. I got an 85. I'm gonna walk all the way this way. Now I have an 85mm lens on, like I said, so I gotta walk so far away from what I'm shooting. And I want to use this little pillar kind of as my foreground. Actually, this pillar. Construction's a little bit loud. All right, cool. So for this, what I'll have y'all do is kind of just like dance, movement. You guys can do this, come in for a kiss if you want to dip, all that kind of fun stuff. So I'll give them kind of vague instructions, like just dance. Because then if I don't like what they're doing, I'll be more specific. But usually they kind of know what to do. Like that looks great. I'm actually gonna shoot through these bushes a little bit instead. I don't like the way that pillar looks. Ugh. All right, do that one more time, same thing. Oh, I got people in the background now. That was perfect and I missed it. Sorry, there was somebody walking behind you. Yeah, all right, one more time. Sorry, y'all. There we go. Just keep kind of dancing like that. That's perfect. Oh, are you gonna run and jump? I think she's gonna run and jump. Yep. Perfect. And then usually once I've gotten that, I'll get a little closer. All right, do all the same stuff. I'm just gonna get a little closer. Okay. If I like the poses that they're doing automatically, then I'll just kind of shoot around them and just move around and get different angles of what they're doing. Just like this. Yeah, this lighting is gorgeous. Look at that. Perfect. Cool. A lot of times I'll see people on Instagram, like photographers, like on reels, and they're just like, and like they'll do like a backflip, and then I'm like, bruh, you don't got to do all that. Like, calm down. All right, now when it comes to posing, one thing I always think about is I always have poses on hand on my phone, because no matter how proficient you think you are at shooting portraits, you're gonna blank out, you're gonna forget, so always keep a gallery of poses on hand so that you can reference real quick and then do it. Oftentimes I'll even show them the phone and be like, hey, which one of these do you wanna do? And then we'll just go from there. All right, so looking at these two, I like these a lot. Which one?
I like that one right there.
I like that one.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, so we showed him this photo. Can you see it? Sure. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do this pose. So Daniel kind of face me, and then Rachel, what you're gonna do is kind of lean in towards him and like kind of grab his hand like that. And kind of almost lean in and like touches like the side of his face. But you're kind of in the light, so kind of come like right here a little bit. Yeah, there you go.
Hand in pocket, what you thinking?
Yeah, hand in pocket's fine.
Okay.
I'll show you one more time. So you're kind of looking off to the side, and then Rachel, you're like angled in completely towards him.
Just hang that right hand around my neck.
Yeah, just like that. That's perfect. Yep, and then kind of just like lean in. There you go. I'm gonna get a little bit of a different angle. All right, kind of touch noses, lean in and close your eyes. There we go. Perfect. All right, I'll do a couple like some movement shots. I'm gonna have you guys stand kind of like right here. And this is one question I always like to ask the couple is, have you practiced your first dance yet? 99% of the time they'll say no, and they'll be like, oh, and I'll be like, practice it now. All right, so have y'all practiced your first dance?
We live in practice world.
Really?
Yes, yeah.
You've practiced your first dance?
Yeah.
Rachel's saying no. I'm gonna take that as a no. All right, we'll go ahead and practice it now. Actually, real quick, come like right here in the shade a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, just go ahead, practice it now. And then while they do that, I'll kind of just walk around and shoot through leaves, whatever. I usually don't tell them to stop. I usually wait till they kind of just think it's awkward, and that's when they start laughing, so. See, as they're thinking through stuff and kind of looking at each other, I get all the candid moments. Let's do a twirl one more time. I'm gonna have y'all come a little bit this way.
Okay.
Like probably behind this little pavilion thingy. There's a little bit more even light. Sometimes when you were, when you actually moved out, the sun was like hitting you in the face. Let's have y'all kind of like right here. So what I noticed was in the last shot, when they did the twirl, the sun just smacked her right in the face. So I'm gonna do that again, but without that light. Yep, and whenever you guys are ready, you can do the twirl, because that looked really good. That was perfect. Alrighty. Let's do like a fun walking shot.
Yeah.
Now, pro tip, every time I do a walking shot, usually it's because I don't know what to do. And I'm thinking through different posing ideas kind of thing. That'll give me a little chance to think. So what I'll do is, let's have you guys kind of hold hands, and I'll have you guys walk towards like that tree kind of up on the hill.
Okay.
And then I'll have you do something different on the way back. Okay, cool. So just 1 second. I'm using an 85, so I have to like step all the way back, and they started walking without me telling them. Kind of look at each other. There we go. I always have them look at each other when they're walking. What I do now is when I have them walk back towards me, I think a lot of photographers call this like the drunk walk, but really all it is like them just being goofy, like bumping into each other. So I'm gonna see what they know what it is, and if not, then I'll explain it. Hey y'all, if I said for y'all like to do the drunk walk, do you know what that means?
A little bit.
Yep, exactly. Yep. All right, so I'm gonna have y'all do that in just a second. Look at that, perfect. They're pros.
Yeah, we might not have to down this hill.
Yeah, I know. And so when you're doing it, just kind of like look at each other, kind of laugh, giggle. Just don't look at me. And go. Yeah, that's perfect. Oh, they're being aggressive the way they're like pulling each other. It looks good though. Go in for a kiss. Perfect. I don't even have to ask you anything, because usually every time I do a kiss shot, I'm like, you got to touch her, because usually they're just like, or I'm like, that probably feels better in the moment, but it looks so bad in photos. I'm gonna try to find examples if I can show every time. I just go on Pinterest and they're just like, I'm like, you look ridiculous. All right, so for this shot, I'm gonna have you guys kind of face each other, same thing.
Okay.
Rachel, if you want to go ahead and kind of just like grab his face like this and pull him in for, almost like you're pulling him in for a kiss, but don't actually kiss, kind of just touch noses.
Okay.
Yeah, like that. Cool. I'll grab a couple. Let me shoot this way, actually. Ooh. Yeah. There we go. All right, and you can actually kiss if you want. I know you want to. There you go. Perfect. Cool. All right, so usually what I'll do is I'll have the couple kind of look at each other, pull in for a kiss, don't actually kiss. I usually have them like touch noses, because what happens is when you have a couple and they just start kissing, they lose a lot of the definition in their face, so you won't see the nose, you won't see the jaw. It just looks like two faces like smushed up against each other. So usually I have them touch noses, get a couple shots like that. Especially at sunset when you have the light coming from behind them and it's kind of backlit, you see a lot of definition of their face in a silhouette form, and so that looks really cool. Can't get that right now, but I'll throw up an example of that right there. Now, another thing real quick that I always like to check when I'm doing an engagement shoot or even a wedding is I'll ask the couple if they have any props or anything they brought, like a dog. Sometimes they'll bring their dog. I guess I wouldn't have to ask, I would just see the dog. Sometimes the couple will bring like a Pinterest board that you can look at and scroll through. Sometimes they have poses in mind, that kind of thing. So you always want to ask and see if they have any ideas. I'm gonna go ahead and ask them. I don't think they have any ideas, but we'll just check. Hey, do y'all have any like specific ideas you guys want, like poses? You guys have any props or anything? Nah, all right, no, we're good, so that's fine. So typically whenever you're shooting outside, you definitely want to put the sun behind your subject if it's at an angle. However, something like this, you kind of want to avoid because it's just super bright and you're mostly catching reflection of the sun, not actually the sun. So the sidewalk's just gonna be this giant reflector just bouncing light, and it just looks really bad. So we're gonna go on top of the stairs and shoot in the shade where the street is and kind of just, you know, hope to not get hit by any cars. Now, candid shots are great. Definitely get all the candid shots in the world, but one thing that's really important that you shouldn't forget to get also is what I like to call the mom shot, or the mom and dad shot. And all this is just simply the couple looking at you, smiling, not super candid. Because what happens is most of the time for their invites, they usually don't put the fun, cute, you know, making out photos on their invite. So all I'll do is I'll have them stand somewhere, maybe hold hands, look at me, and smile. This is a very basic photo, I know, but it looks great on invites and invitations and emails. So that's usually the photos they'll use for their registry and all that kind of stuff. And they'll save all the kissy, you know, whispering each other ear, all those kind of photos for later. So I don't like the green car in the background. There's cars everywhere. So if I want the street, it's gotta be probably facing this way. Let's make sure there's no cars for a second. Because I'm gonna have y'all stand like out here, but I don't want y'all to get hit by cars. Here comes a red car. After the red car passes through, if y'all could stand like just kind of like right here in the middle area, I'll keep an eye out so you don't get hit by cars. But I'll tell you what to do in just a second. I'm gonna shoot through these trees for some depth. All right, so I call this the mom shot, and that just means the shot for mom. So y'all just kind of both smile, look right here, not super candid. Yeah, like that. That's perfect. Same kind of thing, but look at each other. Oh, car. I'll keep an eye out so you don't get hit by cars. All right, cool. So same kind of thing, just look at each other. Perfect. Daniel, if you want to kind of like just kiss her on the forehead. Perfect. Now, one thing I do like to do is always like shoot and kind of get depth in my image. So sometimes that looks like shooting around something or shooting over something. For this instance, they are in the shade, which looks awesome. And then these leaves all kind of have some light hitting it, so it kind of gives a cool effect. So I'll literally shoot kind of through the leaves. Not too much, but just enough to kind of give it a little bit of depth. Sometimes shooting around trees and leaves kind of makes it look like you're stalking your subject. So avoid that look, but kind of just use the light to your advantage. Because you don't want to shoot behind a tree and make it look like you're peering at your subject around a bush, because that's kind of stalkerish. All right, well, I had a shot in mind, but I actually like the way they're holding their hands, so I'm just gonna get like a close detail shot. That's my favorite thing, is when I like have an idea in my mind and then I see something else and I'm like, oh wait, that's actually really cute too. Now, another really important shot that sometimes I forget, honestly, but definitely don't forget this on an engagement shoot. You won't forget it on a wedding day, but on the engagement shoot especially, make sure you showcase her ring. Now, the groom won't have a ring yet if it's before the wedding, because they don't have their ring until the wedding. But for an engagement session, always try to showcase her ring as much as you can. There's a couple different shots you can get. You can have her put her hands kind of over his shoulder like this and show off the ring right there. I don't have a ring, but that's where it would be, right there. And then also you can have her put her arms out like this and maybe put his hand underneath and kind of show the ring off that way. Many different ways to do it, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Oh, I forgot about, I like this one a lot.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're basically just like right behind her, kind of holding like this, and then Rachel, you'll kind of have your arms up. Yeah, just like that. That's perfect. Cool. And I'll scoot back because, you know, 85 millimeters, I gotta walk a football field length's worth back. All right, so you guys kind of just like look at each other a little bit. Yeah, just like that. That's perfect. That's cool. This alley's cool. Finding myself shooting portrait a lot. Kind of look at each other and smile, big smiles. There you go. Cool. All right, 2 pro tips. Number 1, don't forget to shoot portrait and vertical, because sometimes I find myself shooting portrait for half a shoot and I'm like, oh shoot, and then turn it sideways. So make sure you do both. And secondly, another big point is always say big smiles, because usually when you tell someone to smile, they'll kind of give you like a, and then if you say big smiles, that's just when they give you a real smile. So then they'll kind of give you a, you know what I mean? So I always say big smiles. If you ask me why, that's why, so that they actually smile normally. All right, so that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it's given you some more confidence next time you go out to do your own engagement session or portrait session or couple portrait session or anything like that.
Now, every photographer is different, but the typical time of a portrait session can vary based on how long the couple is booked, but typically lasts about an hour to an hour and a half, and I usually do about 8 to 15 poses and take roughly 500 images, out of which I usually give the couple about 80 of the best ones. We also have a full editing job shadow where I edit these photos 100% from start to finish using my custom Lightroom presets that we provide to you inside the course. And on top of that, we also have raw photos available for you to download so that you can follow along and practice exactly what you've just learned. We want you to learn by doing and not just by watching.
But if you want to learn even more about photography, videography, filmmaking, editing, and anything else to master your craft, you can check out our full course at tomorrowsfilmmakers.com. We have over 1,200 training videos and over 120 hours of content taught by leading professionals in the film industry on everything you need to know to master your craft, from filmmaking, photography, weddings, real estate, business, editing, and how to make a full-time living doing what you love. You can have all of this, including our full photography course, for only $97. All right, guys, I've enjoyed making this video. I hope it's helped you out a lot. If you'd like to learn more, you can check out tomorrowsfilmmakers.com and learn all the skills that you need to succeed.